Welcome back, everybody. It's now time for game number 2 of Na'Vi vs Team Liquid. I'm Gods.
I'm LD. We need some hype in this cast. Game 1, Gods was like, woo, let's get it on! And then
Na'Vi were like that. Liquid were like, take me, I'm free.
Have your way with me.
I'm so free.
Ravish me. Well, there's plenty of time for Liquid to return the ravishing here.
Na'Vi abided, so.
We may not have the Grieveling, but we got the ravishing today. So, something wicked this way comes for sure. Yeah. But in game 1, I think we just saw Na'Vi. You made the point that Boba on a Razor mid did his job in the matchup, won the lane, but even when Na'Vi fell behind in the laning stage, they just had the better mid-game fighting lineup. They love to fight a lot early, and for me, Liquid need to put Boba on a tempo controller. Your Clockwork, maybe even something like a Dragon Knight, just something that can control the game in the mid-game.
Yeah, I definitely think it was something that didn't really suit him or his playstyle. We'll get ourselves into the game number 2 draft, see exactly what the two teams are thinking, going to do. Na'Vi, they had the first pick, it looks like. They go for a first pick Lich, giving Liquid both Bounty and Chen, so getting the two up at the same time. They wanted the Chen, but you have to deny Liquid that Na'Vi that bounty hunter. Otherwise, your Chen's life is just miserable.
Yeah, for those of you who've been maybe staying up late in Southeast Asia or woke up early in Europe, you probably saw Vici Gaming just showing off how to use the bounty hunter against Chen. RTK even died once or twice. He wasn't incredibly efficient, but he just shut down the enemy Chen so much that there was just no way they could come back in that Vici Gaming match. But here we are. It's good old Western Dota, and we now enter the second stage of the bans. Na'Vi, we've seen so much Timbersaw over the past few months. He got that very slight nerf in this patch, but I feel like all the other changes of the patch are just very direct buffs even. Like the change to creep equilibrium, teams tending not to defensive tri-lane as much. Timbersaw has only gotten stronger in this patch.
Yeah, I think the stats I saw in one of those like stats corner things was that Timbersaw is getting picked up more, and his win rate, he's one of the most winning heroes that's been picked up like quite frequently. Like I think it was in the top 4 of like most winning heroes that have been picked more than 20 times in the new patch. So he's definitely doing really well here, and there's like Chinese teams are banning him out in the first stage or first picking him for the most part. Even these Western teams, both these two games, he's getting picked up in the first two picks, and he's great because he's also versatile. You can put him in the mid lane like we saw last game, but Na'Vi also quite often run him as an offlaner.
Very interesting here, Gods. We see a Death Prophet ban from Na'Vi. I still think a hero that's very strong in this patch. We've seen a lot of Pugna. Death Prophet doesn't give you quite the utility of Decrepify and Ward, but she gives you a good AoE silence, and she is an amazing pusher, as well as just DPS hero with her new and improved ultimate. But we've not seen it in Western Dota, so I do find it interesting that Na'Vi's banning it here. Maybe Liquid shown something in scrims, but I don't think I've ever seen Liquid run a Death Prophet, and that goes back like, 2 years maybe.
This is Na'Vi, maybe like you say, they know something of Liquid, what they're doing in scrims. Maybe other teams have done this to Na'Vi, like just in scrims, and thinking, okay, well, we don't know if Liquid will do it, but we don't want to be up against a Chen Death Prophet push strat. This is where I feel Liquid just goes to your old tried and true, your Dragon Knight Chen. That's a great mid-game pushing combo. You've got the tanky Dragon on the front lines. You have the pushing power there. We saw it earlier from Vici Gaming. It's something that is just very tough to deal with, and having that instant stun on a Dragon Knight, great against the Timbersaw.
Yeah, Dragon Knight's still in the pool. Beastmaster actually cops the ban instead. And I think this is just Na'Vi knowing Liquid, because most teams would probably go Dragon Knight, but Liquid actually tends to prefer the Beastmaster for Boba. We've seen him on Dragon Knight from time to time, but I think they're one of the teams that runs Beastmaster the most in this current patch. So Na'Vi showing their research and having done their homework. Liquid, they banned Venno. And basically, I imagine we might see them ban another very strong support here, because Lich very strong for the laning stage, just in terms of getting your team an advantage, but he's very passive. He doesn't set up kills. Venno also good against the push, and I'm curious to see what Liquid bans with the second pick, because they could go for a pretty push-heavy lineup if they want.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where Venno can be annoying to verse, at least in the fairly early game stages where he has the Plague Wards just to try and hold your towers up as long as possible and stall. So Liquid one more ban, and then they get into their pick. They ban up the Havos Gyrocopter, though, so
there's a Mirana here, and they ban one of the heroes that just trades well, and they'd be happy to give up farm for.
Yeah.
I know Liquid likes to run the Mirana. We saw Na'Vi use it pretty well last game. But Mirana is generally, to me, strongest when you can go aggressive tri-lane or roam a lot early. And although Liquid they wouldn't have set up for it. Well, now they would with the Rubik, but then you have to come to the Mirana's lane. So I don't know if Mirana's really the best choice, but it's a hero both teams have been favoring. Outside of that, we saw a Funix safe lane TA. So honestly, like, we really don't know how Navi's going to pick.
Yeah, Navi is showing.
Because I never would have expected that in a million years.
Yeah, and they go for that Mirana, so you do expect that one. And, well, this will be another Havos Mirana. It seems to be like the new Weaver for me. Like, it used to be always the Weaver, the Lifestealer. Liquid, interesting enough, still banning out the Lifestealer when versing Na'Vi. Teams just do not want to give Havos Lifestealer.
Yeah, that's certainly true, and I think well advised, because we saw Havos some pretty aggressive plays that game, but if he's lifestone in a lot of those situations, he not only lives, he probably gets 2-3 kills. So they go for Mirana, but they don't really have any setup for Arrow yet, and at this point, Chen creeps do well against arrows. You can use them to block the arrows. I wonder what Na'Vi goes for to set them up, and there's a Shadow Demon in the pool if they want to go for something like that, but I feel like generally Na'Vi likes to get more of a playmaking support for KuroKy.
Yeah, the Sanking is still there as well. Liquid, though, they go Pugner, and at this point, Na'Vi thinking, okay, they definitely want to have a strong push, because they ban out Veno and Gyrocopter, two good counter-pushing heroes in different ways. Gyrocopter with the cooldown, a fast BKB hero, then he can just fight and throw the flat cannon in as well, and also matches up against Chen, having all that AoE damage to bring down the Chen creep. So they see this Pugner pick, and they're thinking, we need some proper counter-push coming out from whatever our other support's going to be. They still need another solo type hero. Maybe they want to go something like a Darkseid to get them a fast mech and have the vacuum wall to deal with pushes. But Na'Vi definitely have a pretty good idea what's coming their way. They go for the Templar Assassin, though.
Interesting. Decrepify and Track are both really good against TA. You can kite her very effectively with Track. If she ever goes on somebody, you can just Decrepify her and keep their team alive, at least for a little bit. But I do want to mention, someone in the chat pointed out that TC's apparently been playing a lot of Death Prophet in NEL. So maybe Na'Vi, I've seen Dendy playing quite a bit of EEL lately, so maybe he was he's seen the TC Death Prophet and said, hey puppy, you probably want to ban this one, but not 100% sure. Liquid will now ban out a Vengeful Spirit, and we've seen Puppy loves to roam in this patch especially, so getting something like a Venge ban here is a decent choice.
Yeah, the TA, while can be dealt with by Decrep, like your Pugner build generally is going to be more Nether Blast and Ward focus.
You get like the 1 point.
Yeah, you get the 1 point. It's only so much lockdown. And Navi's lineup is all about burst damage. You've got Timbersaw, Templar Assassin, Mirana. When Liquid are trying to push, like around, let's say, the 10-20 minute mark, these heroes, Arrow and Starstorm, should both be maxed out. Timbersaw should be like level 10 to 12, and TA with maxed out Meld and Refraction can just insta pop heroes. And that's what Na'Vi think, hey look, they got pushed. We're not going to go with AoE to deal with it. We're going to go with just hero killing. So when we engage on them, they just melt in 2 seconds. You can have a mech, a Hand of God, but if you focus fire and have the burst damage there, these heroes will die and die fast.
Yeah, that definitely looks to be the game plan for them. And they appear to have all 3 of their farmers, so we're just waiting on that secondary support, or rather, excuse me, that first support for KuroKy. Rubik is in the pool. Liquid actually picked it up. So I guess, I wonder what they go for. They go Queen of Pain for Bulba, I imagine. Yep. Probably the TC safe lane Pugna, and I'm thinking the Queen of Pain mid, because I could be a Pugna mid, but he's not going to be able to shut down a TA too effectively. So that then leaves Na'Vi looking for KuroKy's hero, and what do you think? There's no Visage, there's no Venge, there's a Sand King still.
Yeah, Sand King I think one of the good options.
Or
the
Earthshaker
as well. Yeah, Puppy plays a great Earthshaker, so they could just as well be KuroKy playing the Lich here. Like these guys, they'll switch around between the 4 and 5 position depending what's needed. And this may be a game where you just put Puppy on the Earthshaker or the Sand King, give KuroKy the Lich, and you go from there. But we'll have to wait and see. They may be expecting like Liquid with a Queen of Pain and Pugner as their like 2 main core heroes. They may be looking at some mass books. They may want to push nice and early on. So
Track Gold can really fuel that. You get a couple towers, you get like 2 track kills with 3 or 4 heroes involved in each. All of a sudden, you have like most of a Necro book on pretty much all these heroes.
Yeah, so now we have to be thinking, what are they going to be doing to deal with this one? They've still got plenty of time to think things through here for their last pick, but
I do feel like Na'Vi have a good lineup to deal with Necro books. Not super early, but once you get BKBs of Mirana and TA, you can just right-click them, and especially TA, you can just easily kill the Necrobooks.
Well, they go for the Naga Siren. This is kind of like a bit like speed gaming. It's the Naga Siren Mirana combo. So you're up against a push rate. You can actually use this song to engage them. While arrow's just one target, it's not like a black hole or ravaging everyone. But if you had arrows on a key hero, be it someone like the Queen of Pain, the Pugna, and you burst them down before they cast a spell, that teamfight gets turned around. And well, not even turned around. It just gets straight up won based off that Sleeps engagement.
Yeah, Na'Vi have a lot of ways to defend as well. Song, Moonlight Shadow to initiate, and if it ever comes to a big team fight, Liquid will have Hand of God, they will have Chen Creeps, but Na'Vi just have like an overwhelming amount of AoE, I think, even through the early Hand of God and Chen Creeps, where Chain Frost starts a bouncing, Funnick comes out, drops his Whirling Blade, throws out the Chakra, and you may die anyway to the Riptide, the Starstorm. it's a lot of nuke damage. So we introduce our teams now, guys. It's game 2 of a 5-game series. Winner moves on to play Alliance, who are waiting in the grand finals of WePlay Season 2, brought to you by Western Digital and O3D. And, well, here we go. We'll have Fluff and Stuff, as well as Logitech, the main sponsor.
Yeah.
Fluff and Stuff on your Rubik. TC going to be playing your safe lane, farming Pugna. Way2 on the Chen. Bulba, the solo mid Queen of Pain. And to the off lane goes Koikfa. He has started with Boots, and he is playing the off lane Bounty Hunter.
Yep, over on the Radiant side, it's the Ukrainians, Team Navi Puppy, or the Estonian on the Nagasaran. We're going to see Havost on the Mirana. That leaves Kuroki, I believe. Where is Kuroki? He's going to be at the top lane for the time being. He's playing the Lich, the German player for the team. Dendi on the solo mid Templar Assassin, so he's on the TA this game. And Funnick switching things up with Dendi. He's going to be in the off-lane Timbersaw.
Well, gods, we were talking about what heroes we'd like to see Bulba on, the tempo controllers. I like to see Kuroki on playmaking supports. Now, Lich, you can chain Frost at the right time. It can be big, but
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. Press R at the right time or not. I feel like that's generally what and just not get caught. So
Yep.
I'm a bit disappointed to see him on Lich, but it's a strong hero. Somebody's got to play it, and we'll see if he can make it
This
work.
dual lane's really annoying as well, because like it's Timbersaw in the offlane who's going to have his wave pulled back even more. He's going to be pretty difficult to kill, and Kuroki's just going to deny experience as well as farm. Puts an Observe Ward down in front of Fluff there. That's an easy deer ward. Should have maybe waited to go for that one, and Fluff, yeah.
He's got a sentry of his own here, and he's going to look to get the D-ward off first, and yeah, we'll end up being successful.
Okay.
So, in the end, I still think this is a pretty strong dual lane for Navi, though. Like, Pugna just fairly squishy, and even if he has to Decrepify, that's still not going to help him if they go in. They're all nuke damage here. So, taking a look at our middle lane, it's Dendi on your 10. He went for Refraction at level 1, kind of your standard build, but that means Bulba is able to get off Shadow Strike. We've seen Mushi in this 1v1 matchup will often take Meld first, so just look to Meld dodge the incoming Shadow Strikes. I'm not sure what server it's on, because it would be tougher for Dendi on US East, but either way, Bulba's doing a good job early bullying the TA, but can he keep it up? It gets a lot harder as she continues to level.
Yeah, the mid lane going to be very important for Liquid, I feel, because these other two lanes going to both be somewhat Navi favored, denying a lot of experience in the offensive dual lane with the Lich. Bottom lane, I think they've decided, hey, look, Bounty Hunter's just so annoying and hard to kill, we're not going to even try to do so with the tri-lane.
Well, and no excuses for Denny, but yeah, I was just thinking this might be the US East factor there. Tried to Meld dodge the Shadow Strike. Unable to do so, but Bulba, you know, he had to deal with it the other game, so it ends up being mostly even until that 5th game if it comes to it. And for the time being, Bulba has the edge here, but hey, Denny gets his bottle. It's really not the end of the world for him, and these are always the hard levels for TA. Once he gets to like level 5, you have level 3 Refraction, a point into your side blades, the lane does get much easier.
And Dendy's actually slightly ahead in experience. He's not really being that out-farmed. It's 5-4 CS to 7-2, so he's doing just fine. Like, he maybe could be doing a little bit better, but Bulba's actually not farming all that well here.
Yeah, keeping an eye on the way Liquid are juggling right now. We see Way2 very efficient so far, already hitting level 3, and this is a rare chance where we've seen a Chen actually get to jungle gods, because every game we've been casting over in WPCA has just been insta Bounty Hunter counter pick, and he just follows Chen around, completely shutting him down, but won't be the case this game. Way2, it's a quick level 3, and he's got a smoke here. Maybe they even go for a first blood attempt.
Well, meanwhile, bottom lane Koikfa is being very annoying for the puppy jungler here. Well, he's just going for some pulls. He's going to come in, take a few last hits, gets himself some gold.
Top lane, we're going to have initiation. They've gone in on Funnick. TC, he's got a Decrep and a Blast. He doesn't use the Decrep. Would have done a bit more damage, but not really enough, and that's just a hard-to-kill hero. I mean, what else is there to say? Timbersaw, he's a tank.
He salves up, and they're just going to keep on denying the creep wave, pulling it back as much as possible, and this is just very annoying in general for Liquid. They feel like they have to make some kills happen or something happen, and they just can't do it here. Chen Rubik maybe consider like going for a smoke gank on mid or something, but ganking a TA never really a guaranteed thing, and always is going to be very difficult to accomplish.
The downside for Navi is because they're running this dual lane, they really can't deal with Bounty Hunter too well. The only way they're going to kill him is a net into an arrow. Outside of that, and it's got to be a long-range arrow. Outside of that, Koikfa can just run away, and he's really been bullying Puppy. Drove him back to the tower earlier. Puppy's out of regen at this point. He does tend to pull his teammates more and just sacrifice himself more than other supports. And even in those pats, that continues to be the case. Pulling not as strong, but is still somewhat a viable option. And as a result, he's been getting just pushed around by Koikfa. So I got to say, Koikfa, doing a nice job here. But as I say that, the net was mid-cast animation. Could have easily given up first blood.
He's getting a lot of experience, which is the main thing you need in Bounty Hunter, but he's not getting farm, whereas Na'Vi, like, they're getting a lot of farm on their offlane here. Their Timbersaws up to about 10 CS for the time being. Bounty Hunter just with 3, and those are mostly steals on the neutral camp, which don't give anywhere near as much gold as your normal last hits.
I think for Liquid, the key to victory for them is these early movements for Way2. He's already hit level 4, 4 minutes in.
Yeah.
Again, very fast start for a Chen, but what's he going to do with it? The top lane's really hard to gank. We saw that earlier. Maybe with 2 Chen creeps they can get a kill, but you're ganking a lane with a Pugna. He's just not particularly adept at setting up those early engagements. They're going to try again, though.
They're going to go for a smoke.
This really needs to work. They need these kills.
There's no observables here. I think Na'Vi just pushing up very far, considering there is a Rubik Chen who are getting that level 2 and level 4.
Kuroki. He's just walked into them. Sure, he's got boots, but lifted up. Tossed back into a net, into a nether blast.
Yeah.
And a test of faith for good measure. That's a kill that Liquid really needed. But, meanwhile, bottom lane, Mirana actually picking off Koikfa. Looks like Puppey dropped the ensnare, immediate follow-up with a long-range arrow.
They had the Sentry Ward there for the detection as well.
I think the one issue for Liquid with that kill is they don't actually do anything after it. They get the first blood. That's really nice for them, but they don't push a tower, and they don't kill Funnick, so he's still getting golden experience. It's still a good trade for Liquid, but I don't think it's that great of a trade.
Yeah, and ideally they want to be killing off the Timbersaw there. Being first blood, it's always somewhat worth it, but they commit a lot to that, and I still feel Na'Vi are going to be just fine with the position they're in for the time being. Liquid, though, I mean, they've got a solo mid queen at Pain who can always snowball. It's still like too early to say, oh, Na'Vi are better off with this early game, but Na'Vi definitely making things happen. They're going to pop the Moonlight Shadow.
We've seen Liquid love to do this exact same thing, but will Bulba be ready for it? Net's going to fly. It's too close for him to be able to blink away. Now he's in trouble.
That is cheeky.
Well, that early Moonlight
Shadow.
Shadow.
Top lane they've gone in. TC life draining his way back up to HP, and that actually...
The plays will open up for the kill. One last step. It is TC. Just a long-range snipe. It was Fluff who helped complete the kill. He's got a lift. No mana for the lift. That should be the end of this, but they're diving to Crepify. That'll be it, but just getting a kill against this lane is very impressive.
Na'Vi just getting a bit too over-aggressive there with the Moonlight Shadow just to set things up. They couldn't quite kill him. They also... Very rarely do Pugnus actually get life drain at level 6 in competitive Dota. Generally, you go...
It always hurts you to have to go for it.
Yeah, you not generally... I don't know, maybe it was like a thing where he leveled it up when they dived him in the tower, but generally your Pugna build is max out your Blast and Nether Ward as early as possible with the 1-point injury kit. You don't get that life drain until like level 9, level 10 often. Yeah,
you'll see it a lot in pub games. It's a very fun way to play Pugna, but the Nether Ward just is a much more reliable source of damage and team fight control for your team, and frankly, Nether Ward is the main reason you pick Pugna above all else. So we'll see where they go from here, but I think it is a slight deficit that he had to go for that. Not the end of the world, but yeah, I think for Na'Vi, that early Moonlight Shadow usage was just really impressive. We've seen Liquid try to use it the same way, and they've had some success, but when you get off to a fast start with that, all of a sudden Puppey, it's level 5, and Havost, he's like a Spectre. He doesn't have to go ganking. They pop dust, but they can't get the net, get fogged at nighttime, unable to get the cast off.
He even popped the Shadow Walk to slow himself down a bit there. It was kind of came out as the dust did, but...
Yeah, that was just like a gut reaction. They're going in on Funnick, though. Troll Trap's there, but he hooks out after it, and that's the end of the gank. So this is where having a tri-lane Pugna is just not the strongest hero to set up these kills.
Yeah, this is where Timbersaw really wants to go back for a couple more points in that Timber Chain for the extra range, maybe, but as it stands, he's still alive in the top lane. Na'Vi have grouped up 3 heroes at mid, but Dendi fairly low on mana and can't really offer a whole lot here. They need another Moonlight Shadow, maybe, and Moonlight Shadow coming up in 10 seconds time.
Top lane, the push mounts from Liquid.
Dendi, very low at mid. Bulba went for it.
He has the ult here too, but he's worried about a refraction perhaps, and now the bottle comes out. So the opportunity wanes. Liquid's still pressuring top. They're going to take the first tier 1. No trade in sight for Na'Vi. It is the least important tier 1 on the map, but it's gold for a lineup that relies on getting an early mech, relies on snowballing. They'll go in mid, though. Bulba unable to blink away in time. He takes a Meld to the face. Now he blinks, but it's kind of a midget blink here to the left. It will be enough. The backup was coming from Koifa.
They can't, like, break the distance in time. That's where if they have a Moonlight Shadow to get them in, they get that kill, because they get in melee range. They're already... The first meld attack comes as the ensnare does, but a lot of the ensnare duration's, like, wasted while they're
just running in, basically. Yeah, that's a good point. Kuroki now posts up top lane, and this is going to be some track kills. This might even be 2. Blast hits on both. Kuroki's almost instantly dead. They get a track kill on 4. Now they want Funnick too. He'll try to Timber Chain out. He ends up getting mini stunned there for a second, but he still gets the Timber Chain off. Now he'll go down regardless. The second one was not a track kill. So they get 1 track kill, but it's on 4 heroes. That's a pretty big kill.
Yeah, and Liquid now in poised to maybe go for this tier 2 top tower. They've got a number of heroes up here. Chen now up to level 7, working away on that mech. It looks like he's actually finished a 9-minute mech, so
he's the key for them, and this is a very impressive start from Way Too Sexy. I think Na'Vi just played over-aggressive in the top lane, but at the same time, Liquid punished it. They took the early tower. They're making all the right moves to just take advantage of Na'Vi's slight over-aggression.
And Liquid, I think, are going for the Necrobook Dota. TC with a Staff of Wizardry. Could be for a 4-star, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a Necrobook, as well as Bulba. Queen of Pain, a decent Necrobook hero, and definitely a potential item to see both those two heroes pick up. And Liquid can just take tower after tower, go for Roshan when possible, and suddenly things get very difficult for Na'Vi to defend.
Yeah, it's great against TA. Once you get the level 3 Necro, you can just skip a gem if you want. And for Liquid, they're a map control lineup. They're an early pushing lineup. So saving money that goes towards a gem means you get an early 4-staff. So it can do double duty in a lot of ways and just gives you extra damage sources against TA as well. So I think it's a fantastic pickup. I imagine we're going to see it. Although the start has been pretty good for Liquid, they now lead by 2k gold, 500 experience. They cannot get complacent in this game, guys. They need to keep the pressure up, keep on finding the pickoffs with track. Once they have the early mech, which is online, I think right about now should be flying out. In fact, it is. So they just need to keep on going from objective to objective. If they get too relaxed, then Na'Vi will turn around, because they definitely have late game. I'd say, if not 100% secured, I'd give them like an 80-20 advantage late game.
Yeah, I think for Liquid, they need to turn this 2k gold lead into a 5k gold lead in the next 5 minutes, because that's something they definitely can do, just taking all these outer towers, going for Roshan once they feel it's safe. And Na'Vi don't really have good counter push. They can't really trade towers effectively because they don't have the best pushing heroes to actually push out these lanes. Maybe Havos can pressure this tier 1 bottom a bit, but generally speaking, you have to be very cautious and safe with your split pushing against a Bounty Hunter and a Queen of Pain.
Yeah, he is going for a Lincoln. It looks like a Lincoln Sphere build. It could just be a casual Rain of Health, though. And if he wants, Savos could go straight into a BKB, straight into drums or some damage items. He is backing off for a Wraith Band. So completes his Reign of Akil. We'll see what he goes for, but Lincoln's is kind of the... I'd say it's the best split push item a Mirana could get, outside of maybe a Manta, but it's a little bit safer, the Lincoln's is. And Liquid don't have the best lamp to punish split push. They've got Bounty Hunter, but, you know, where's your great initiation? It's a Rubik lift. That's pretty much it. So you get a Lincoln Sphere, and between that, Song of the Siren, and just two other tanky, hard-to-kill heroes in TA and Timbersaw, it looks to me like Na'Vi will just be playing pick-off Dota and angling for the mid to late game.
Yeah, they want to be able to actually engage in this Liquid lineup. That's the only way they're going to be able to defend towers. They're going to have to somewhat shrug off the Necrobook damage as much as possible, and looks like both the two teams almost ready. Never mind, Quake still not quite around, but Dandy, I have to see what he goes for. I mean, we saw the BKB last game. I imagine this is another BKB game. He may want to go for that Drum of Endurance first, but he needs just whatever he can get to
Dandy
fight
last game we saw the Vanguard.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying the TA on...
Oh, the last TA game. Yeah,
the last TA game.
Absolutely. So, well, wouldn't be surprised to see a Vanguard, honestly. It's a good item in this patch.
On TA?
Yeah, I'm kidding. I don't think we'll see a Vanguard. But
I was about to say,
no, I'm not sold
I was
on
worried for a second, LD.
Who is this idiot I'm casting with, and why am I stuck with him? Well, you're stuck with me, God. So
that's right. Well, it looks like the two teams ready to get things underway. Now we'll hop back to it. It's game 2 of Na'Vi versus Team Liquid. Na'Vi having taken game 1 of the best of 5, but there's still plenty of time to turn things around. And right now, Liquid, game 2 with definitely a slight edge and some momentum going their way, but it's still
bottom lane. They've gone in.
Out Havos.
Yeah, track kill too. That's a big one. And that's exactly what Liquid need to do. Keep on finding the pickoffs. Be aggressive whenever you have your crucial timings up, like your mech, just having the Queen of Pain off cooldown. And for Bulba, it's important because he didn't really have the opportunity to crush mid. He had a pretty decent start versus Dendy, but that was only like the first 2 waves. Then the Bottle Crow kicks in, and this is really what he needs. He's not going to win that 1v1 matchup just sitting in the lane. He's got to keep on finding the kills.
So for Na'Vi, I feel like when they're giving up kills like this, they're just not really getting much in return. Like, they haven't got good flash farming heroes. Dendy may be getting a bit of farm. He's picked up his Ogre Club, so it will be a straight BKB coming out from the Dendy boss. But the rest of Na'Vi, like your 2 supports, not really farming supports. Lich and Naga Siren just kind of sitting back. They're still looking for their level 6s. So that's where I feel Na'Vi can struggle. Their support duo, not really good supports for playing from behind with.
But their level 6s are game-changing, and they are coming pretty soon. This is a nice big stack to clean up. Puppy, about halfway to level 6. If they get Song and Chainfrost and Liquid get overzealous in the next fight, they could just lose 3-4 heroes, and the game could almost fall apart from that point. Yeah. What's currently a 3k gold lead will be gone if they lose a big fight like that.
Yeah. I still worry for Na'Vi a bit because it's not just the supports on the level. You're like your offlane Timbersaw only just now 11 minutes in is going to have his arcane boots. He's also fairly under-leveled, hitting level 7 now. This is where you really want that kind of level 9, level 10 Timbersaw to get maximum burst damage. You want max out Timber Chain as well as the Whirling Death, and he just doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's where Liquid could punish Na'Vi now, but if they don't do it now, I think it'll be a lot harder later on. There's still a leap on Avos. He's baiting this one a bit. They've got their song on Puppey. Dust gets deployed. It does clip Koikfa. Now he goes in Viz, and he's even slower as a result. The arrow coming through. Well, he had nowhere to run regardless, and he'll end up going down. They didn't even use Psalm. They have Psalm online. The Chain Frost's not up yet, but Kroki will have it in like maybe 2 creep waves. And they could still look to force a team fight if they want.
Na'Vi may just go for a bit of a push here at bottom lane. Dendy sharing his bottle with Havos, giving him some extra mana. So that means they want to either keep Havos here farming, or maybe they just want to go for that tier 1 bottom tower. But Liquid can pressure other lanes. They've got the Pugner at mid lane getting this tier 1 tower down a bit lower, but he felt a bit antsy there. He didn't want to hang around too much longer.
Yeah, Naga goes back to the middle lane. Na'Vi, they're content just to reply to the pressure and then relax. Let's keep on getting our farm. Yep. Let's keep on getting our levels. For Liquid, running a safe lane. Pugna, getting a Necro Book on him. You know they want to be pushy in the mid game. It's what their lineup's built to do. So we'll see when they go for it. Not that they have to go for it now, but you'd figure within the next 5 minutes they'll be going for the tier 1 mid, the tier 1 bottom. If they don't, then you do have to say, question some of the hero picks and item selections because it just doesn't suit their draft to sit back.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They just had, it's the objective-based Dota. They need to be getting these tier 1 towers. They need to then move on to Roshan, the tier 2s, just systematically take Na'Vi down. You don't have to go for kills at all. And that's where I feel they're somewhat conflicted. The Queen of Pain and Bounty Hunter maybe wanting to go for those ganks, but at the same time, the lineup as a whole somewhat needs to be pushing S5.
Yeah, completely agree. And Havos will rotate into the middle lane, but Dendy to his bottom he farms, and he is rushing BKB. Once he gets it, Liquid struggle to kill him. I mean, they will have some extra damage sources from Necrobook. There's track to kite him, but it'll take a lot to bring him down, and even if they kill him, that's where the other heroes have a big impact. They do try to defend mid, the Glyph gets deployed, but Liquid just keep on trying to throw bodies at this tower, and the new and improved Nether Blast from a few patches ago easily will bring it down. No chance of a deny there.
Nothing that Na'Vi can do to defend that. And they're going to have to accept the fact that if Liquid decide to group up as 5 and push, towers will fall. They want to just kind of push these other lanes. Timbersaw, the TP out from this one, suddenly feeling like he was a bit in danger there. With good reason, even though Liquid weren't there yet, they were definitely thinking about coming up there fairly soon.
If this was a better ganking lineup, he probably doesn't go that far, though. Like, if they had stronger heroes to punish split push, but yeah. This is where all they really have to punish it is a Bounty Hunter. There's no Orchid on Queen of Pain. Bulb was actually going for Necrobook as well. So, yeah, at this point, double Necrobook, no early Orchid or Scythe of Vice coming out. It really does focus them on the next 10 minutes or so. What can Liquid get done? Can they take those objectives? For now, we haven't seen it, but you got to figure it's coming soon.
Yeah, it is. Na'Vi, I feel, are still close enough. It's a 3k gold lead, and that, to me, isn't quite enough to give Liquid a comfortable lead. They're going to be really worrying about the fact that, well, Havos actually popping a Moonlight Shadow is going to engage on.
They want to go in on Bulba here. They've been successful in the past.
Saw or heard it. It looks like they had vision of the Timbersaw at mid. They saw Timbersaw get invised up, and then it's suddenly like, okay, why are they using Moonlight Shadow? They're trying to gank me.
And, the funny, Bulba's been the victim of that several times this game, so.
Yeah.
Well, he'll end up being
good map awareness from Liquid.
Bottom lane, though, Denny does take a regen. It looks like Liquid were thinking about trying to pincer him, but that's like trying to cage a lion. It might just end up ripping your head off. Well, this TA is getting pretty big already. He's got BKB soon. I do worry a bit for Liquid once that's up.
Yes, you get your BKB on TA, and if a fight or two goes Na'Vi's way, suddenly there's a Desolator or something on top of that. And, well, Denny needs to be careful because there is a lot of heroes coming his way. Liquid want to start going for this next objective, the bottom tier 1 tower, and if they can pick up Dendy in the process, they'll be thrilled to do so.
He's really tucked behind the tower here, very far back. The trap's deployed. The Necrobook is out on the Pugna, nothing yet on the Queen of Pain. They've had that early mech for some time, and they do realize it's time to start pushing. But Na'Vi are just split pushing. They'll take a tier 1 top. A decent trade for them.
Should just TP out here. He should realize there's 5. He's going to see 5 heroes now, more or less. He should be looking at that TP, either just back to base or to the tier 2 at bottom lane. He needs to just get out of here.
Liquid almost have to go for a tier 2 now, because Na'Vi are going to keep on pressuring mid. And if they TP back, they're not getting anything off of that. Na'Vi can just song, even just look to run away. Well, they may find Funnick here. He just overextends, gets a little over-aggressive, and there's a song coming out now. Well, that'll be it.
I like that song usage. Even just to save the Timbersaw there is...
No, okay.
Yeah. saving the Timber Sword is quite important at this point. You don't want to be giving Liquid towers as well as kills. Like, if you're not trading towers, it's one thing. But if you're not trading towers and giving away the tower kills and hero kills, then you're falling behind a lot. So it's a big cooldown, but it's, to me, a well worthwhile use of it.
More and more Necro books are starting to come out. Way2's building towards one of his own, and we'll have a big fight mid. There is no song here. They throw out the net on TC, but they're not going to struggle to burst him down, and Liquid will simply retreat. Yeah. Way2 is playing like a carry this game. This is what I mean about like more of a farming-oriented support, like the Doom that we've seen. Funnick may find his creeps here, which would be quite unfortunate.
Yeah, he'll be happy about this one. They're going to get the Riptide Novas. They're going to kill the entire Chen army. That's a bit of a mistake coming out from Way2.
I think I jinxed him. Sorry, Way2. But, yeah, he loses his creep army. He can look to rebuild it, but that's, 2 minutes where you're not pushing as effectively.
Well, Liquid now find the next tower they want to get. They don't have the Chen creep army, so that's just a small thing if a fight breaks out, but double Necrobooks being summoned. The Necro 1 from Bulba, the Necro 2 from the Pugna.
The Necro ones look so puny. Puppy, though. Oh, my goodness.
You got, like, dual mana burn there or something?
Yeah, he got... yeah, just like double mana burn along with a couple other nukes coming out.
I think he maybe even killed one of the melee Necro Warrior. I don't know. He took a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, he just melted. And they get the kill there. They do take the tier 2 as well. It goes to TC. That's pretty much his Necro 3.
They caught Kuroki in mid lane.
Yeah, Fluff comes in, struts up on him, lifts him up, throws him back, and this is track gold Dota. Chain Frost will bounce out. Does he get the good bounces? No such luck. Well, he gets some creeps, guys. Creeps are ahead this day. Not a good trade for Liquid. Or for Na'Vi, not at all.
Na'Vi, it's a hard game to find trades. They're going to go for another Moonlight Shadow here. They may want to engage Fluff and Stuff. He hasn't seen this. Oh, he does. He sees Dandy just before he fades and gets the arrow off Fluff and Stuff.
What a player. But the arrow comes in. The other arrow. Poor Fluff.
Yeah.
That was a great just arrow as he came around the corner, but didn't matter.
Now, Maeve overstayed his welcome in the mid lane. Drops down the Nether Ward here, but TP out, nothing to cancel it looks like, and TC just narrowly escapes. He got down really low there.
Yeah, it's. I guess they still have not addressed that interaction with Decrepify not removing the Naga net like Ghost Scepter does. But either way, he's able to get out and should be okay. So Na'Vi will look to push in the middle lane. Lincoln Sphere is coming soon for your Mirana, and he, on that note, finds way to Havost. He's pulled out his sniper rifle, and one by one, bang, bang, he's starting to rack up the kills.
That's bad news for Liquid, because every time, to me, like, they can trade towers, but giving up hero kills is really costly because they want to be grouping as 5, taking down towers, and every time someone dies, it's like, okay, gotta wait for them to respawn, we gotta just sit back and farm for a bit, and it's just this bad cycle that they can't really fall into. Like, they need to make sure they're just constantly not giving Na'Vi space to just get their next couple of items.
Na'Vi just got their combat items out. They've got the BKB on Dendi. Yeah. They have the Lincoln Sphere on Avost, and Dendi, if he wants to, could just kill this Necrobook. That's 200 gold down the drain. And Refraction blocks the damage, so TA showing off that she can be very potent against this. She's got a BKB, needs to pop it now, is going to stand and try to fight. Where's the team? Dendi thought his team was going to stick around mid. He was wrong. The arrow comes in, it will connect on Bulba. The one hero that could secure this kill for sure. Dendi still has Refraction. The Necrobook giving chase. He's got 6 Refraction charges. I think he's going to live. Havosh just gave him a huge bailout. Otherwise, that Queen of Pain blinks in and sets up the kill.
Yeah, there was a Refraction, but with a Shadow Strike, you just slow him down enough that you still chase him down. And Liquid, well, they don't get the kill. They're going to rotate bottom. It looks like another tier 2 towers on the menu for them. They can go for Roshan later on as well, but Na'Vi, I still feel like they're just close enough in this game. They're not taking towers, but if they can hold and not lose tier 3s, not lose Raxes, eventually they get some of these towers.
Fluff. Oh, Funnick. He almost Timber Chained into the arrow oncoming from...
If he actually got that Timber Chain off, I think the arrow hits.
That would have like prompted us to just have to go and get some instant replay equipment so we could rewind and fast forward that moment 10 times. But no such arrow was hit this day. Fluff has been showing off his stuff, but there was a teleport song in. Liquid, everybody runs the Sunskin, and they caught nobody. The arrow coming through only hits a Chen creep. Not a good way for Na'Vi to start the fight. Already tour track, already Funnick melting. He gets life drain. He's not dead yet, but Avost on the front lines needs to leap out. They all retreat.
Bouncing around, doing a bit of damage here. This is just going to force Liquid back more than anything. Kuroki now tracked up. He looks like he should go down. Decrep is there.
Arrow to fly. Off the mark, but Kuroki driven off. He needs to run north. Keep on running, and he will end up escaping. Liquid do take the tower, but TC, he gets clipped by an arrow. Can Na'Vi fight into the Necrobooks?
No.
I don't think so.
If the Necrobooks weren't there, they may be engaged. And look at all the damage coming out from the arrow, the chakram. But the big problem is these Necrobooks just act as this big wall. They do such big damage. They also mana burn you. Fighting into them is near impossible, and that's where Liquid, even though it wasn't the cleanest fight for them, they still get out without losing a hero. They get the tier 2 tower, and now they fall back. maybe even going for Roshan. It looks like that's where they're headed.
They're not... I would normally say this is not a very fast Roshan lineup, but they have Vlads, they have Necrobooks cooling down pretty soon, they have Chen creeps, and, well, they're going to take it with ease. In fact, TC is just life-draining this Rosh. Yep. I don't know how much damage it does after all the magic reduction, but it adds up, and they'll take Rosh. I think for Na'Vi, just you have to give this up. There's no Song, there's no Chain Frost. You maybe try and go for an Aegis Steal, but that's about it.
They help out Liquid a bit. There's a big arrow hitting onto Roshan. Liquid going to be able to bring down Rosh just in time.
And they'll defend mid. There's a glyph available here. I don't know if Na'Vi want to stick around. No Chain Frost, no
really
Song, but...
This. Arrow catches out Havos. This is bad. The Lincolns gets proc then following it up. I think it blocked a trap there, so... Na'Vi get the tower, though. They back off without a fight just yet, but here come the Necrobooks.
This is where Liquid just don't have that great stunning initiator for Bulba. No hook shot, no Dragon Tail. Otherwise, Na'Vi really would get punished for that.
The trap's slowing Liquid. They want to chase, but the trap's just being deployed, and this makes it much more difficult to get these kills. Na'Vi, though, I still feel...
Koikfa, they were waiting. They knew he'd be in front. Off with his head, says Na'Vi.
Na'Vi are playing really well right now. Playing against this kind of a lineup is very difficult to do, and Liquid are executing very flawlessly. Like, every now and then they'll be a little bit sloppy, but for the most part, they're taking towers one by one. They take down Roshan, but Na'Vi, they're still farming well. They're still definitely close by. It's only a 5k gold lead for Liquid, and that's entirely come from all these towers they're getting.
And it's with 3 Necrobooks, which are amazing now, but in 10, 15 minutes, these items really do fall off a lot. Like, your TA gets another damage item. She could just solo kill all 3 Necrobooks by herself during the BKB and not even give 2 hoots about it. So Liquid, I feel that 5k gold lead it's fool's gold if they're sitting on it. They need to keep on fighting, but Na'Vi can split push well. They have Song if anyone gets ganked and the Naga's nearby. Dendi's got a BKB, not an easy hero to kill. And your Mirana has a Lincoln Sphere, so I think Na'Vi just playing this one really well, and Liquid... To me, they're actually in trouble, even though they're leading on paper.
Yeah, Dendi's got his Blink Dagger on top of this as well, and he's scouting everything out. The arrow going to come in.
Oh.
If that hits, Dendi goes for a
The
kill.
Courier's here. They couldn't snare the Courier. No, they go for way two. They want the Chen kill, but he's mech'd. He's Hand of Godding. He's still alive. The Centaur stomps slightly off the mark. There's your Chain Frost Song. Comes out as the Chain Frost continues
All
bouncing.
the Necrobooks have been summoned. There's triple Necrobooks up. 2 of those level 3, 1 level 2. You cannot fight into that, and I like the Song use just to retreat. Na'Vi, they get a kill. They buy themselves more time because Na'Vi are just playing for the late game. Eventually, Dendi gets another damage item. Eventually, Havos gets another damage item. And Liquid's late game carries is just non-existent. You've got mass Necrobooks, but your Queen of Pain isn't going to have a Hex. Your Pugna's just got a Necrobook. Your Bounty's going for utility items in the BKB, so... The pressure is on Liquid to end this game.
Liquid are up 5k gold, but the tempo is Na'Vi's tempo, considering the hero picks. And now they found Koikfa in the jungle. The arrow came out, but these 2 heroes do not have detection. They won't get the kill, but yeah, Fluff stealing the Chakram, it's a nice ability to have, but I feel that clock's really ticking. And
yeah, Na'Vi are happy to use that.
They're just playing it well. I think for Liquid, using 3 Necros, that means you can't push with them. So Na'Vi say, great, like you're not coming for towers.
They may get a kill on Havos here. This would be a nice little pickup for them. He's going to leap over to the side here. He's on the run now, but...
TP, there's a Shuriken toss available, and it will be used.
Okay. That's what kind of Liquid I feel have been needing. Kills like this, they need to just get whatever they can. Havos did buy it, looks like use all of his gold. He bought the Mithril Hammer. Just to work on his Maelstrom.
It's your favorite item in this patch.
Yeah, it's new.
Has received quite a few buffs, along with the Mjolnir.
Yeah, the Maelstrom just gets the increased range, so it's now like a 700 range instead of 400, I believe. And against pushing strats, that's pretty useful.
Does it bounce more, or is that the...
I think it's only the Mjolnir, which gets
the Mjolnir
extra 2 bounces or so.
Okay.
2 or 3 extra bounces. I think it's gone from 4 to 7.
He's diving deep for Fluff here. He's gonna find him. He's got one more Timber Chain over the top will go. And now the fight breaks out. It's chaos in the river. Buyback immediately. Dendi's got a haste and a BKB. I think he just runs away. So too could Funnick if he Timber Chains out. He tries to TP instead. No such luck. Gets just blown up by the Queen of Pain.
Well, Liquid finding kills and whatnot, but...
Is it enough, is the question.
Yeah, it still feels like their lineup's on a timer here with the fact that they don't have a late game plan, but Puppey at bottom lane may be another pick-off going the way of Liquid, and this you can't afford to have. If Liquid go to the late game with a lot of track kills and whatnot, that's when suddenly things get a lot more difficult. Puppey going to cause some confusion here, sends out the illusions, but there's 5 heroes here. Liquid should be able to pick this one up with ease, and it's another track kill.
Mid lane, Funnick jumping in here. He throws out the Chakram. Havos leaping forward as well, but TC's already waiting with the life drain. Dendi coming in, but the decrepified Fluff will be okay for now, or Ghost Scepter rather. No such luck any longer. Now he's on the run. TC tries to self-decrep. He pops Aegis. He may well die twice. There's no arrow, but in comes Koikfa. In come your Necrobooks. In comes a parade of Chen creeps, but Dendi just BKB TPs and tries to fight his way out.
Not bouncing either. It's been wasted. Funnick wants to go to work here. He's going to Timber Chain his way in. Arrow hits Koikfa. There's no vision, though. They can't actually see him, or they would have got that kill. Havos now goes down again. Bulba just blinks out to safety.
More stuns. Slayer's still doing it, but I don't know if it's enough. Dendy into the fight again. He gets one. Now he's going to run out. It's still a 2-for-1 there. Koikfa's low. If he shows his pretty little head, he may well be dead. Funnick trying to TP out now.
Does do so.
Yeah, Dendy's got to blink here.
They
He'll
came
be fine.
very close to killing off Bulb there. And Na'Vi at this point are just kind of trading kills. Normally you don't want to be trading kills against the Bounty Hunter, but against a team with no carry, and when you're somewhat keeping like some of your core heroes alive, like they lose Mirana, not great, but they keep Timbersaw and TA alive. They're the ones getting kills. As long as it's some of their core heroes getting kills, I still think fights like that are good for Na'Vi.
Yeah, the other way to look at it is a 5k gold lead for Liquid now, to me, means less than a 10k gold lead does in 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Because even though Liquid will be ahead in terms of the raw numbers, it's like, oh, hey, they're winning more and more. But in practice, it's a relatively not that big of a difference. And that's where Na'Vi have their next damage item on the TA. They'll have their next damage item on the Mirana for Havos. And they may well have the Boots of Travel on Funnick. Maybe works towards the Shivas. Still, going triple Necrobook, very mid-game oriented strategy. Now Liquid may try to transition into late game, but if they thought the game was going to go this way, they would have not have picked up Pugna. They would have gone for the Gyro for TC, even the Mirana, something that just scales a bit better with farm.
Yeah, I think Liquid, they've just got the triple Necrobook 3 up. The next Roshan's going to be key for them. That's going to be respawning sometime in the next 2 to 5 minutes. If they can't get tier 3 towers and Raxes with the next Aegis, then they're forced to go late game, which is a struggle for them. They still don't automatically lose in the late game. Like, they can get items like Hex on your Queen of Pain. Pugna's going to have Aghanim, Scepter, and a Necrobook and work on a Hex as well, but late game is definitely not where Liquid's lineup excels.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier, I think it's like 80-20 if it's even, and even with a slight disadvantage, I'd still favor Na'Vi there if it's only like a 5 to 10k gold lead. But here come Liquid. They're looking for that next tower. The tier 2 top will fall. It is the last outer tower of the game. Roshan, about 3, it looks like 3 to 5 minutes from respawning here. And Liquid, they'll take this top tower. TC as well as Bulba. Do they continue to dive? They're jumping on Funnick. Tracks out, but no full commitment yet.
Dendy just continue to farm as well. He wants his next big item, whatever that may be. This is, I think you just need damage. Like, going for the Desolator just for the burst damage is probably the best way. Unless you want a Diffusal Blade to deal with the Ghost Scepters.
I was thinking the same thing. There's a lot of Ghost Scepters and Decrepify as well that will be coming out for Liquid if this game goes on. Here's your song. Catches 2. Koikfa on the run. He's going to try and juke his way out, but do they commit to this? They've got access to some good abilities here. Initiation. TC. They found TC. Can they send him back in time to burst? It's too much. He goes down. Now your Chain Frost bouncing 2, bouncing Throw, and Dendy. BKB's up, but not really doing a whole lot. The Chen creeps Chanky most of the Chain Frost. Bulba coming in, finding a kill, but he's been netted under tower. He'll go down. That's a 710 gold kill for
Goes
Na'Vi.
to the Lich, unfortunately for Na'Vi.
Oh, not ideal.
If that goes to someone like Dendy or Havos, that's huge. But even so, they kill off both Pugna and Queen of Pain, and that's that late game Song of the Siren into Arrow. You use that on a core hero. You can either just make sure you get the Queen of Pain or the Pugna, and Na'Vi should strip win the fights, but they still lose a tier 3 tower. Liquid still do inflict some decent damage on the Na'Vi base.
I love this adjustment from Dendy. Not going for his typical Daedalus MKB, just pure glass cannon build. He's up against the Pugna solely for that. He gets a Diffusal Blade, and Fluff's also got a Ghost Scepter, and if this game goes late, Liquid may try and kind of kite and just cheese the TA by getting 4 or 5 Ghost Scepters, but they won't be able to do it now. With the Diffusal Blade out on Dendy, anybody can be a solo kill, even that Pugna.
Yeah, this is definitely a nice transition coming up from Na'Vi. They're going to be, I think their next consideration is, hey, they're going to go for Roshan soon. We want to contest this. I don't think they want to give up Roshan without a fight. Fluff and stuff is going to steal Arrow. That's a nice pickup. It's going to throw it out. Not going to land. Necrobooks have been summoned. Dendy on the run now. He's got no mana for a TP. Does do so now.
Havos just wanders into the entire enemy team. The Stomp not on the mark, but he's still going to go down to the right clicks. He does. Well, he does die here.
Navi Courier. The Die Courier just went down.
The
Both teams with a dead Courier.
Okay, so taking a look at the damage, Liquid only had a TP. We're going to see a Naga going down
Puppy's dead in the Roshan pick. He got tracked out. Koikfa found him. Meanwhile, Funnick onto the high ground. They've got no track on him for the time being, but if Queen of Pain Bulba can find him, they may be able to get another kill.
Neither Courier had anything big. The Na'Vi Courier just had a Bound of Elven skin, and the Liquid Courier just had a TP. So even gold trade there. They lose the Mirana. I think overall a bit of a win there for Liquid. The track kill, especially on Puppy, it's a lot of additional gold.
Okay. Well, now with 2 heroes dead, they will be respawning soon, and when Naga respawns, there is that Song of the Siren up, but Liquid marching down mid lane. Na'Vi need to stall this as well as possible. They haven't got Glyph to do so, so They're going to take damage here, it looks like, and this is going to be very difficult for them.
Hard for a Templar Assassin to fight into so many sources of damage, but he'll go in, isolates Fluff, the Diffusal Blade's there. Fluff was not expecting this leap. He does throw Dendy back, but another trap comes. If they bother to defend that Rubik, they'll just be wasting their time. They are going to take the racks. Perhaps Song gets popped, though. Dendy back on the other side. He never finished off Fluff. He's coming back for the main engagement. The arrow to fly. It's gonna know it's BKB dodged by Dendy. Well played by him. Now the arrow coming in from Avos. That one hitting a Chen creep. In comes your Queen of Pain ult. Really does nothing in this fight, but Dendy, BKB's down. He's on the run. Funnick as well. Liquid are finding the timing. It may well be enough to take the wreck. It may even be enough to take two with the Naga dead. No Song of the Siren. No Timbersaw for 5 seconds. One lane of racks down. Do they go two here?
They couldn't focus down the Pugna fast enough. TC got kept alive with about 500 HP, and then the Aghanim Scepter just allows him to spam that life drain, heal himself up, and that's where the Song, it's nice and all, but you've got to have the arrow follow-up. They need to use that to either kill off Pugna or Queen of Pain. If they're not doing that, Na'Vi cannot really fight. They only lose 1 melee Rax here, so they're still well in this game, but that's the start of something good for Liquid. They really need that Rax, and they've now got it.
Yeah, having those six necro minions in the fights, it's just if you get the tier 3 down, it's just critical mass on the push where sure you may eventually kill the necros off, but the Rax just falls during that time. So Liquid seemed like they were maybe going to fail to find their window, but that was a big fight for them. And I think one of the things that hurt them was just they let Liquid get in position on the high ground.
Yeah.
You let them drop all 3 necro books, get to the base, start working on the Rax, and even if you fight at that point with Song, it's too late. Like, the Rex were about to die regardless. So.
Yeah, Mirana, the big thing there is that Mirana and Naga were both dead. They couldn't actually get themselves into much of a better position. They may lose more here. Kuroki tracked up. Yes. Shuriken to slow him down a bit, but the Naga Siren Illusion's acting as a bit of a walk. Bolbak's going to blink in. He's finished off the side of the Vice, but doesn't look like they're going to commit to this one. And Roshan back up. Liquid should just look to back off and take Roshan now, I feel.
Yeah, Liquid, they'll go back to the Roche pit. It has just respawned. Not sure if they saw it, but they will momentarily. And meanwhile, Na'Vi just split pushing for all their worth. They want to delay this.
He's been spotted here.
Yeah, he's got the BKB Blink Dagger TP. Should be fine. I'll head north, but with him TPing out to the base, Roche is just wide open for the taking.
Yeah. All right. Liquid already in there. They've summoned the Necrobooks to help them bring it down a bit faster. Quickvis got the lads. He's had this for some time and got a BKB and 2k gold. So Liquid with the tower gold they're getting suddenly pull into a decent position.
Gets sniped by Fluff and stuff by the arrow. That's going to delay this Roshan contest.
Song is up though.
They're still coming in. And I do want to point out, guys, they're going mass Diffusal Blade, and you can actually purge the Necro minions.
Oh, yeah.
So you get one, it's not going to do anything because there's 6 Necro minions, but you get 3 or 4 of these, well, you can maybe just purge all the Necro books.
Yeah, definitely helps, and you get some decent gold for Havost in mid lane. Needs to leap out of this one. Doesn't get tracked just yet. Locks it with the Lincolns. Quakevan sned up. They can focus him down. They've got the damage they need. Dendy with the meld attack brings him down. Bulba now goes in. Hex onto Dendy. Dendy's got BKB when he comes up. Bulba's been stunned up. He may get focused down. Doesn't do so.
Barely alive. Now the Chain Frost bounces. It's going to be an awful bounce just on the way to it. Actually comes back towards the fight, but I don't know if it matters.
TC
They're all going to live. Chain Frost is down. They do still have Song, but
at this point, Chain Frost, I feel, is just not an important spell, though. Like,
it just doesn't do anything this game. Against the Chen and the Necrobooks, it's like a useless spell.
There's so much to tank it, and even all these heroes are just tanky anyways. Like, your Pugna has 1800 HP with a life drain that he can spam. So.
Na'Vi have 5 here, though. They have the Boots of Travel up on Funnick. He can join the fight if he wants. They're not going to go.
Home, though.
Yeah, Dendy's too low to fight. So with that, they probably give up Roche, although Havost has his own game plan here. God, so he comes in, he gets Troll Trapped up. Now he gets Scythed up. He may well go down to the Pugna suck. He does. The song was too late.
Oh, Havost, he's really drawing. He's playing that fine line. He really wants to just put Liquid under as much pressure as possible, and if he gets in there, distracts him and stalls him taking Roshan, or maybe even prevents him,
and Dendy gets back. Yeah. Because Liquid do have a slow Roche, but Puppy was just like, I don't know, 200 units out of range. The song came a bit too late, and
such a fine line between brilliance and getting picked off like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Quakefa heading towards the top lane now. He'll look to defend as Liquid prepare to take Roche. It should be dropping fairly quickly. And they're going to get it. I guess the question is, can they take 2 lanes of Rax with this Aegis?
More money going their way. And this is actually Funnick at top lane. Could be in a bit of trouble here.
He's in a lot of trouble. He'll try to go out. He knows he's dead if he can't get a kill in return.
He needs to just deny himself. Use the Bloodstone. Oh, maybe Bulba's a bit afraid here.
He wanted to maybe Timber Chain away, but now he's out of options. He really needs to self-deny. He will do so.
Yeah, he never had the mana when you're up against those Necrobooks constantly burning away at you. And Bulba can be healed up here by the Urn Charges. Fluff with actually out of those Urn Charges, but even so, Liquid may go for the push down that middle lane with the Aegis on their side.
Yeah, Na'Vi, although I think the big thing for them is just that some of these engagements haven't been the most well executed. Like, we've seen Havos getting picked off a few times on his own, Puppy just a split second late with the song, team miscommunication, whatever you want to call it. And then that fight top lane where they kind of got picked off one at a time. Dendy was chasing Rubik while the rest of the team was trying to defend the base. They just haven't felt super well coordinated, and Liquid have been punishing that. They've had the great initiations, and now they barge down the middle lane. They'll try and find Dendy here. I think he's dead.
There's the Hex as well. Dendy gets brought down. He's got buyback, and he's going to have to use it. No questions asked.
Yeah,
Liquid
he doesn't have a
pounding on
choice
the
here.
doors.
They give up 2 lanes of Rax against this Mass Necrobook, and the Aegis is still online. Liquid just throw bodies at that bottom lane until they break it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here for Na'Vi to hold, even when Dendy buys back. He really needs that item progression as well, and well, for the time being, he hasn't committed to that buyback just yet. Maybe, I think, Necrobook or so on cooldown. Yeah, Bulba's Necrobook just coming up now, and now they've got the triple Necrobook. They should be ready to go any second now. They've got track vision on multiple heroes as well, which also really helps them for this push.
Liquid, the last time they faced Na'Vi in WePlay, it was a 2-1 victory, but there was no Havost in the last 2 games. This time, it's the full Na'Vi roster. They dropped game 1. They're looking to bounce back and force a 1-1 tie as we head into game 3. Can Na'Vi defend the onslaught? The Necros are mounting, the mech's coming out. TC just from long range doing all the damage with his ultimate. Havost is going to melt. The song was once again just a bit too late. I don't know if it would have mattered anyway with the BKB on Koikfa. And now Liquid. Critical mass has been achieved. They're taking Rax here. Very hard to see Na'Vi defend.
Dendy decided not to buy back. He's going to have 2 lives for this last game deciding fight, but he's already lost 2 of his teammates. Timbersaw goes down as well as the Mirana, and without these 2 heroes, Dendy cannot do none of those. I think he just had to buy back and fight. Instead, they lose 2, and I think this is now GG. There's nothing Na'Vi can do to hold any further. They're going to lose this last set of Raxes. Dendy can't fight without the other 2 core heroes, and suddenly Liquid, it looks like they're going to tie up the series 1-1 in this best of 5. GG is called, and Liquid take game 2.
In Necrobooks, we trust. Liquid, sure, they went for Mass Necrobooks. It's a little bit cheesy, but they executed it well. They took some great fights in the mid-game. They used the Aegis effectively, and they just had a clear game plan. It seemed like there was like a 5 to 10 minute window where wasn't sure if they were going to start pushing, but then they said, you know what? We have the items we need. We have our mech. We have 2 or 3 Necros. One of them was a Necro 2. They start taking all the tier 2s. Very methodical play, and I think Na'Vi just made it a lot harder on themselves. Havos getting picked off a lot.
Yes.
Everyone not quite on the same page, and any chance of a comeback was pretty much out the window.
Na'Vi just tried to be maybe a bit too cute at times, just really tried to. I mean, they were really under a lot of pressure. When you're up against a draft like that, you have to be very aggressive, because if you sit back, you're just losing your base. So I think they made the right decisions, but they didn't quite execute as well as they needed to. And they saw this Necrobook push coming, like banning out the Death Prophet in that second stage. They knew that some kind of shenanigans was coming their way.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop it, even so.
There's just so many heroes that anyone can build a Necrobook. Like, sure, you might not have the best pushing hero. You have the best pushing item.
You get that, like the farm on a hero like Chen, all you need is a mech, and after that, you go straight for that Necrobook. You're getting all the tower gold. So it's kind of like replaced that luxury Aghanim Scepter. It's now a luxury Necrobook.
It's not even, it's like an essential almost at this point. But yeah, I think the other thing for Na'Vi was we saw Puppy on Naga and Kuroki on Lich, just 2 very passive supports, and they did their job in the laning stage. But you come to the mid game, and so often you'll see Kuroki on Rubik stealing big spells, kind of turning fights. This game, their supports couldn't win them the game. They needed to just completely outfarm Liquid and take it late. And
not really good comeback support. I mean, they have good big team fight, but the general just constant clashes and skirmishes that are happening, they can't really offer much.
And you compare that to not Liquid. Last game we saw Wei2 on the Disruptor. Not a hero that can really take over games. Chen can, and that's what he did.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Liquid tie things up 1-1. It's now essentially a best of 3 moving forward.
Yes, it is.
Everything's tied up. And
who are your rares on? The odds were 77 to 23 in favor of Na'Vi and Dota 2 Lounge.
Look, with those odds, I'm not betting. But if you give me 50-50 odds betting on, I think Na'Vi is the definite favorite coming into this one.
Are your rares still on them the rest of the way here?
I think so. Okay. I think they're definitely favored to win this, but I think it should be a very close series, possibly go 5 games.
Okay, guys, we'll take a very quick break here. Game 3 is coming up next. It's Na'Vi versus Liquid. Your WePlay loser bracket finals. Alliance is waiting. Who's going to face them? We'll start to find out after this.